In the world of football, there is a place where careers go to die. It's a glittering, multi-billion-dollar stage in West London called Stamford Bridge. For over 20 years, Chelsea Football Club has been the most ruthless predator in the transfer market. They have the money, they have the ambition, and they have a desperate, almost obsessive, need for a world-class number 9. But there is a pattern, a dark, expensive, and inexplicable trend that has haunted the club since the turn of the millennium. It doesn't matter if you are a Ballon d'Or winner, a Premier League legend, or the most feared young talent in Europe. The moment you pull on that blue shirt, with a number 9 on the back, everything changes. The curse didn't start with a bang. It started with a whisper. Long before the record fees, the number 9 shirt began to exert a strange pressure. Look at Kežman. He arrived at the bridge as Europe's most lethal finisher, fresh from a 50-goal season. He left a shadow. Even the great Fernando and Crespo, a man who lived and breathed goals, looked like a stranger in his own skin whenever he wore that specific number. It was a warning that the world ignored, but it was only the beginning of a 20-year haunting. Then came the heavy hitters. Shevchenko, the Eastern Wind, a Ballon d'Or winner who had conquered Italy and terrorized Europe. When he arrived, the world expected a massacre of Premier League defenses. But the man who stepped onto the pitch wasn't the assassin from Milan. He was a ghost, haunted by a goal drought that felt like an eternity. Desperate to break the hex, the club tried something unthinkable. They gave the number 9 to a defender. Khalid Boularuz, a man nicknamed the Cannibal, wore the striker's shirt. It didn't work. The curse didn't care about tactics. It only cared about the number. And then there was Fernando Torres, £50 million, a British record. At Liverpool, he was El Niño, a weapon of mass destruction who made the world's best defenders look like amateurs. But the moment he touched that blue number 9, the magic evaporated. The pace vanished. The confidence crumbled. That night against Manchester United, with the open goal gaping and the keeper beaten, that miss wasn't just a mistake. It was the curse introducing itself to a global audience. Torres eventually won trophies, but the lethal striker the world once knew never truly returned from the London fog. The curse grew even more bold. It began taking legends and turning them into footnotes. Radamel Falcao, the Tiger who had dominated Spain and France, looked toothless in the number 9. Then came Alvaro Morata. He was so terrified of the history that he actually changed his number from 9 to 29 after a single season, claiming it was to honor his newborn twins. But the world knew the truth. He was trying to run away from a ghost. Even when Gonzalo Higuain, one of the most clinical finishers of his generation, arrived on loan, the number 9 sapped his strength. It was as if the shirt itself was a heavy lead weight, dragging every world-class striker down into the same deep, dark water. The ultimate test came in 2021. Romelu Lukaku returned to Chelsea for nearly £100 million. He was the prodigal son, the man who was supposed to shatter the curse once and for all. He even started with a goal on his debut. But within months, the pattern repeated. Injuries, controversial interviews, and a bizarre loss of form saw him shipped back to Italy on loan. Since then, the number 9 has become a poison chalice. For years, the shirt sat empty in the locker room because the world's best strikers were too superstitious to touch it. Now, in 2026, as a new generation takes the field, the question remains, is it just a piece of fabric, or is there a ghost living in the threads of the Chelsea number 9? But the curse didn't just target the superstars. It seemed to feast on anyone who dared to dream. Take Franco Di Santo, a teenager with the world at his feet, or Steve Sidwell, a midfielder who took the number 9 almost as a joke. Neither could escape the gravitational pull of the shirt's bad luck. Even when a club legend like Didier Drogba was at the peak of his powers, he famously wore 11. When he eventually flirted with the idea of the striker's traditional number, the goals slowed down until he switched back. It was as if the stadium itself was protecting its heroes from the number. For a generation of Chelsea fans, seeing a new signing hold up that specific jersey wasn't a moment of celebration. It was a funeral for their potential. The toll wasn't just physical, it was psychological. We saw it in the eyes of Alvaro Morata as he missed sitters he would have scored with his eyes closed in Madrid. We heard it in the silence of the crowd whenever a number 9 went on a 10-game drought. The media called it a meme, but for the men on the pitch, it was a heavy, suffocating reality. The pressure of the ghost of Osgood, the last man to truly own the number, seemed to watch from the rafters, judging every heavy touch and every skewed shot. By the time we reached the mid-2020s, the number 9 wasn't just a position on a tactical board, it was a psychological warfare zone. Sports psychologists have tried to break it down. They talk about the weight of expectation and the unique pressure of the London media. They point to the revolving door of managers at Stamford Bridge, where a striker is bought for one system and forced to play in another 6 months later. But logic fails to explain the sheer consistency of the failure. How can so many world-class athletes from different countries, different eras, and different tactical backgrounds all succumb to the same fate? Some fans point to the move from the old shed end, while others believe it's a spiritual tax for the club's rapid rise to power. Whatever the cause, the known 9 data remains the most terrifying spreadsheet in football history. Millions of pounds spent, thousands of minutes played, and a goal-per-game ratio that would make a Sunday League player blush. As we look ahead, the shadow remains. The Chelsea number 9 shirt is more than just fabric and ink. It is a monument to the unpredictable nature of the beautiful game. It reminds us that no amount of money, no level of scouting, and no degree of fame can guarantee success when you are fighting against history. Perhaps one day a striker will arrive who is so fearless, so oblivious to the past, that they will break the chains. They will score the goals, lift the trophies, and finally lay the ghost of Peter Osgood to rest. But until that day comes, the shirt hangs in the dressing room, waiting. It waits for the next brave soul to step into the light. It waits for the next $100 million savior. And as the fans at Stamford Bridge hold their breath, the curse waits for its next victim. The curse of the number 9 is just one of many dark chapters in the history of the beautiful game. If you found this investigation fascinating, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We dive deep into the mysteries, the legends, and the unexplained patterns of football every single week. Join our community in the comments. Who do you think was the greatest victim of the Stamford Bridge ghost? Until next time, keep your eyes on the pitch and watch your back.